Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online Series 9 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. Today we are trying out another team from the Players Cup 4 online regional qualifiers. This was built by a player called Aaron, awesome name, and he goes by Clippers1235. I've linked his Twitter down in the description below, and he was actually able to qualify for the NA regional finals with this team. So he went 7-2, I believe, in the first stage of the competition, and then made it to the regional finals with this team. So first of all, congratulations to him. That in itself is a really, really difficult accomplishment. And yeah, I wanted to feature this team because to me it has a lot of like the late Series 9 developments in the meta. We've used Regieleki Gothitelle before. This isn't anything new. Rillaboom and Urshifu are very standard as well. But basically, this team combines, I think, a lot of elements that we eventually saw the metagame kind of develop towards the end of Series 9. So first of all, it features Gothitelle. Gothitelle in general, I think, is just a really strong option, and it's actually a little bit underplayed towards the end of Series 9, but a lot of people were using it, I think towards the end of Series 7 and then the earlier weeks of 9. And it's just super strong because you can combo it with Pokemon like Glastrier and Togekiss and Regieleki, and just lock Pokemon in while you just one-shot things with your main max options. This team, by the way, has 3 max options in the Regieleki, Glastrier, and the Togekiss. All of those are really, really strong. Of course, you can max Rillaboom and Urshifu in the very specific matchups, but typically it's going to be Regieleki, Togekiss, and Glastrier that are maxing. So you have so many different lead combos with this team, and I think if anything, actually, when I was playing with, if you can get the lead right with this team, like you can often just win the game on turn 1 or turn 2 because you just like blow the game wide open. But even if you don't lead properly, it still gives you a lot of options. For example, Togekiss plus Gothitelle is a really strong lead because you can either go for Follow Me with Togekiss, set that Trick Room up with Gothitelle, and then sweep with Glastrier, or you can Dynamax Togekiss and just go like Helping Hand with max moves on Togekiss to just maximize your damage output and try to pick up as many KOs as possible. Crit Kiss has definitely made a comeback towards the end of Series 9, and a big reason of that is because of Registeel. Registeel, of course, is a really good late game monster that's able to boost its defense and special defense via Iron Defense and Amnesia, respectively. And, one of the best ways to deal with Registeel is to just crit through it. And so Urshifu and Togekiss are both really good in dealing with Registeel specifically. And so it's interesting, right? Togekiss was really good for the first couple of months in Sword and Shield. Then with the DLCs, it definitely fell off a little bit because you had Regieleki, you had Glastrier being new Pokemon that counter Togekiss, and then you have, all the influx of old Pokemon like Thundurus and Landorus, which also give Togekiss somewhat of a tough time. So it definitely fell off a little bit, but the return of Crit Kiss is here. And I really love the Kiss on this team specifically because it gives you 2 completely different modes. Even when you just lead Gothitelle and Togekiss, like you can play it in 2 completely different ways. So ideally, you want to just like utilize your Dynamax as well as possible, pick up big knockouts, and the thing with Gothitelle here is that it has Hypnosis. It's very tempting to click Hypnosis all the time, so just make sure that when you use Hypnosis, it's in like a position where it's like you either need to hit it to win the game, or you're in such a, like your Gothitelle just has no other play to go for. And that often will be the case, because with Gothitelle, once you Trick Room and once you Fake Out, there's really nothing else to do other than click Hypnosis. But Hypnosis has been something that's been really common on Gothitelle just because it's like, okay, 60% chance to just shut something down immediately. I'll take that over doing very minuscule damage from like a Psychic or a Psyshock, for example. So yeah. We're obviously very close to the end of Series 9, and I wanted to feature this team because I think it's just really consistent. So if you're looking for a fun team to climb with in the next couple of days and improve your ranking, this is definitely something I'd highly recommend because it is so fast-paced, but also has a good amount of bulk on it as well, and can just win you the game on the first or the second turn if you lead properly, especially with like Regieleki Goth or Togekiss Goth. So thanks so much as always for watching. Thank you to Aaron for the team. Details are in the description below, including a paste and a rental. And once again, congrats to him for getting top 16 in the NA regional qualifiers. And question of the day, I want to know if you have played in any Players Cups so far, and if so, how have you done? Let me know in the comment section below. I only played in 1. I think it was Players Cup 2. I commentated 1 and 3. And in 2, I unfortunately just went 2 and 2, so I didn't make it very far. And that's when it was still just double elimination. And for Players Cup 4, I just didn't really play the regional or the online qualifiers because I was away for that weekend. And so, yeah, definitely feels a little bad to not play or commentate this one, but there's always next time. So let's get started. Getting into our first match of the day here. Let's see what we got. Wow. Kabutops, Sableye, Naganadel, Landorus, Registeel, and Clef. This is a really cool team. Like, I'm down to lose to it. There's a lot of cool stuff. Sableye, man, does +2 Kabutops even outspeed Regieleki? That's one of my main questions right now. Naganadel's really scary. Like, I think ideally we get Trick Room up, but this is a really, really tough one. Gothitelle can pressure with Trick Room. Naganadel's very scary. Could see my opponent leading it as well. Something like Naganadel plus Sableye might be a problem. They Will-O-Wisp pressure. Maybe I just go Togekiss plus Glastrier as a lead. Like, I know it feels weird to lead Glastrier because you typically want Trick Room up, but I don't love Gothitelle as a lead. With this, I could just follow me, like, Hailstorm into Naganadel. I don't think Kabutops comes out, right? We have Rillaboom. I definitely want Urshifu. And I think I like Aleki here. But I don't know. I mean, my opponent's team is wild. Like, that's such a cool team. I would try it out if we could. But either way, let's get into it. So, yeah, there's a lot to be scared of here. Like, Sableye can obviously Will-O-Wisp Glastrier. Clefairy can redirect just any damage away. Clefairy plus Naganadel would actually be a really scary lead, I think. But they go Naganadel Landorus. Okay. Seeing a lead like this always is a little frustrating, though, because it's like if I went Togekiss plus Goth, we probably could have just gone follow me turn 1 and go from there. What do I want to do here? Got Urshifu in the back. I can obviously follow me. Part of me really wants to Dynamax Togekiss. Now, only one of these two Pokemon on my opponent's end can Dynamax right now. If I had to guess, Naganadel's more likely. So, I'm honestly thinking we just max Airstream Naganadel and Icicle Spear into it. Because, like, you don't really want to stand with the Landorus against us right now. Or maybe a Dynamax. Yeah, if you Dynamax it, you could just Rockfall, Sludge Bomb, Togekiss. Okay, so they are going to Dynamax Landorus, which is interesting. I gotta say, I actually wasn't really thinking they would do that. If they're Life Orb and they do have Rockfall, like, it could just be Life Orb, Airstream, Sludge Bomb, into Togekiss as well, which would be pretty bad. So, I don't know if this is a great Dynamax, because there is a chance my opponent just one-shots, or not one-shots, but doubles up and KOs Togekiss. And the combination of that's just too much to bear with. Okay, so let's see. Okay, they're going to Sludge Bomb, but into Glastrier for not very much damage, so I'll take that. Max Steel Spike. Whoa, does that KO? Whew, Glastrier hangs on. That's a clutch survival. That's actually so huge. But also Max Steel Spike? Is it from what, Iron Tail? Let's see if Airstream just one-shots Naganadel here. Oh, it's Focus Sash. Wow, okay. That's definitely a bummer. Because Sash makes so much sense on a Pokemon like Naganadel, so yeah. I guess all things considered, I'll take it. I'll take the trade turn 1. Because the main thing here is that I have Urshifu in the back, so that'll be able to handle the Landorus pretty well. And now I have the speed advantage relative to the Landorus. Sableye is still a problem. We get Chilling Neigh, so we're back to neutral, but they do have a defense boost. And even after 2 speed boosts, this Glastrier isn't outspeeding anything on their team. Well, not nothing, but namely the Landorus. They're just going to bring Registeel out immediately. Okay. I have a Lecky in the back. I think I just sack Glastrier here. This is pretty scary. I want to Airstream into Landorus, but I also want to Flare into Registeel. The thing is, if I Flare, though, then I don't knock out Landorus nearly as easily after Dynamax is over. So I think I will Airstream here into the Landorus slot and Icicle Spear into it. And I'm going to Spear into it because there's a small chance Landorus targets Togekiss. And with Urshifu in the back as well as Aleki, like, Registeel is scary. Like, yes, it can set up, but it's not the end of the world. That was a crit, too, so that's definitely Assault Vest Landorus, which is good to know. Okay, and they go for Quake. I'm fine with that. Because I can just bring out Urshifu now and start Surging Strikes. The only problem is, yeah, like, I want to Flare crit. They're probably going Amnesia here, right? Yeah. But I think this is fine, because I can just crit through you at the end in this end game. And if you're running Amnesia, that also implies you're running Iron Defense, Body Press, and Protect typically, meaning like you actually don't have great damage in a Togekiss, which can crit you with Heat Waves. So us having multiple ways to crit through right now is very, very handy for us. So I'm gonna bring out the Urshifu here, and I think yeah, I'd like to set up the Sun, but if I set up the Sun, I don't get the knockout onto Landorus. And I think I prioritize getting the knockout onto Landorus more here, so I will just go for a Max Airstream and a Surging Strikes into it. And the main thing here is, like, I just, unless Registeel actually has a Steel-type attack, you have, and that if you do have a Steel-type attack, that means you're dropping something. That Airstream did not do much, though. I'm, like, nervous Surging Strikes actually misses the KO here. We'll see. Okay, I think we should be good. Good. And this is one of the reasons why this is a smart team, right? Registeel is one of the most prevalent Pokemon in the metagame right now, so having multiple ways to crit through its boosts is actually a very, very big deal. So let's see if they Iron Defense or just Body Press. Okay, they just Body Press us. That's fine. Not that much damage either. Okay, good. They don't have a defense boost right now on the Registeel either, so we can get a really big close combat off. And it is going to be Clefairy as their last one. Okay, I'm fine with that. Because you can't... Yeah, you have no damage right now. I'm going to Heat Wave here. I do have to be a little bit careful, I think. And what I like here is to just Heat Wave and... Surging Strikes? Clefairy could obviously have Moonblast here, which is the main thing I want to be a little bit aware of. So I'm going to Heat Wave and Detect here, I think. Registeel can boost up all at once, but in the end we can still crit it, right, to finish off the game. Okay, so they're not going to Protect either. Pretty good damage. Looks like that's a crit on Registeel. Great. They're going to Iron Defense, which is fine. Yeah, and they Moonblast. Okay. Yeah, you just don't do enough damage with Registeel, but it's still scary, right? Like, now what do I want to do? I want the KO onto Clefairy, ideally, so I think I'm going to actually just... I don't know if Air Slash is a KO. I think I Surging Strikes and just Heat Wave here, because, yeah, Heat Wave, every Heat Wave potential crit is just extra damage onto the Registeel. Okay, so they're not going to Protect once again. We'll get the Heat Wave off once again. We crit once again with Togekiss, so nice job, Togekiss. And we get the burn. That's going to secure the game for sure. But the odds were, I think, very heavily in our favor. We didn't need these crits right now, but now I think that it just accelerates the game to a point where I think it's too difficult for my opponent to come back. But this is exactly why Crit Kiss is really valuable in the meta right now, because so many players are running Registeel. They opted for another Iron Defense here, too. I wonder if Moonblast KOs Urshifu from this range, because if it doesn't, then, yeah, like, it wouldn't have even been close in this endgame. But if it does, let's see. Okay, it did manage to pick up the KO. Still fine, though, right? I just bring out Alecki now, and just Electro Web plus Heat Wave. And there's no way this Registeel has a Steel-type attack, I think. So... actually, the correct play, I think, is to always Protect Regieleki in this position and Heat Wave. So if you're looking for a counter to Registeel, like, Crit Togekiss is really it, because that is what basically won us this game. So I'm just going to Heat Wave and Protect here. And we got really lucky with it, right? Like, we managed to get 2 crits immediately, so that effectively should seal up the game already. And we somehow got a burn along the way, too. Yeah, so Clefairy protects there. That's why I want to Protect with Alecki, bait that out. With the burn, like, I really don't think there's any way for my opponent to come back, but... Like, all we basically needed to do was KO Clefairy eventually, and then just... This Togekiss is on a rampage, so that's 3 crits in a row, wow. Let me go for another Iron Defense, yeah. Like, even if we didn't get any of the crits up until this point, a +6 Body Press isn't going to KO the Togekiss anyway. But then it puts on the pressure to eventually get those crits, right? And the thing here is, like, I didn't conserve Urshifu for Surging Strikes crits in the end. But now I'm just going to Heat Wave and go for a... Where are you at? +3 Special Defense? just Heat Wave and Voltage. Actually, I think Dazzling into Voltage is fine here. I mean, the game's over, obviously. They're so low HP. But I'm just covering for Clefairy Double Protect as an option here. And they go for Helping Hand. That makes sense. But we definitely got lucky, right? Like, Togekiss was literally as clutch as can be, as it got 3 crits in a row and managed to get the burn, which obviously is not going to happen that frequently. 3 crits in a row is 1 in 8, basically, because chance of crit is 1 in 1/2 with Crit Kiss. And then the burn just meant that they were never going to be able to do any damage with Body Press afterwards. But I still felt pretty good about our endgame here, regardless, just because we had such a big burst of damage on the Clefairy immediately. That being said, like, if we don't crit at all, like, when you're using Crit Kiss, it's literally a coin flip as to whether or not you crit, right? So, like, if we don't get any crits there, we probably lose the game. That being said, this game highlights exactly why Crit Kiss is making a comeback. It is just really good into Citrus, which is really interesting. It's really good into the Registeels, which you see. And as you can see, they didn't have any, like, their only attacking move was Body Press, right? And Togekiss just walls this Registeel set super hard because Togekiss is flying and fairy. So your Body Presses, even at +6, don't do that much damage to Togekiss, which is why, like, we typically have an advantage in that end game. Yeah, it was AV with Iron Tail. It was max speed and max attack. It seemed bulkier than that, honestly, but I guess it's just AV Landorus. Kabutops hits 132 speed, but they're not max speed, meaning they don't outspeed max speed Alecki, but I'm guessing if you're going up against Alecki, like, you know, you're not bringing it anyway. Yeah, and then this Naganadel was really interesting as well. It was timid, and with the Focus Sash, which I think is actually a very good item choice, because you're not, like, with this team, you're not going to Dynamax it, and we just used Naganadel, and you all saw how, like, viable it is even as a non-max option. Sash just ensures that it survives for 1 turn, right? So, yeah. That was a really, really cool team. So, you know, we definitely got pretty lucky with Togekiss there, but that's why Togekiss is the best Registeel counter. Maybe not the best, but one of the best ones if you're looking for an answer to Registeel right now. Granted, you know, we only have a couple of days left in Series 9, but yeah, if you're looking for an answer to Registeel, you should consider Togekiss. But let's get into this second match here. Okay, so this is very classic Sun. Really feels like a day 1 Sun team. So, like, I feel like we can set up Trick Room and then maybe put in work with Glastrier, but maybe that's easier said than done. I feel like the thing with this team is if you get the lead matchups correctly, you will often just hard win so quickly, but I, like, struggled a lot in playing some practice games where it's like I didn't get the lead correctly. It still would be a really close game, but couldn't push the tempo as quickly because my lead was, like, a little bit subpar. The scariest lead always is, like, Venusaur plus Porygon, but, like, I honestly kind of like Gothitelle Togekiss here immediately. Drop them in. If they lead Alecki, I can just redirect and set up Trick Room. We'll go Glastrier in the back, and then the last one, Rillaboom, Alecki, Urshifu. They're all somewhat subpar here. Rillaboom is weird, where it's like, yeah, why would I want to bring it into this matchup? Yeah, it is weird. Okay, I think we're going to go Urshifu. The more I think about it, the more. Like, Rillaboom, you can make an argument for, because if they don't go with the Sun mode, and they go, like, Alecki, Urshifu, and Porygon, Rillaboom can be decent against those, but I don't know. It just doesn't make that much sense to me. If I'm my opponent, what am I bringing? Porygon, Torkoal for sure. But then the rest is variable. You would want one of Charizard. I'd probably go Venu, Porygon, Torkoal, Alecki. But that's why I want to bring the Togekiss, because those are the 4 I'm expecting from my opponent. But there are a lot of different ways they could play this out. Like, Torkoal Charizard is actually really strong as a lead here. And it's going to be Alecki plus Venusaur. Okay. Ooh, this is interesting. It's like, do you Dynamax Alecki? Oh, this is actually such a big turn 1. Dynamaxing Alecki seems really wild here. So I want to make the call that they're not going to. Go for Fake Out, Dynamax, and Starfall. But if they actually max Alecki, it's a crazy good play. And it might just win them the game on turn 1. So I'm making a read here. I don't know if I can cover for... Oh, you know what, though? If they Dynamax Alecki and they max Lightning, you can't Sleep Powder into Gothitelle. Because then the Electric Terrain is set up. Okay, they're not maxing Alecki. Good. They could just protect it turn 1, I guess. The worst case is if they just Sleep Powder Togekiss turn 1. Now, that's what I'm worried about. So, we'll see. Togekiss is an okay max option. It's not the best. Okay, they're maxing Venu, I think, then. That's actually probably the best case here. Is it? If you ooze, then you bring out Torkoal. That could be bad. If Aleki protects here, this is actually really ugly. But if it doesn't, and then they bring out Torkoal, I can just Helping Hand Flare Venu next turn, right? And that's really good for us. So let's see if Aleki protected. Nice protect. Really well played, turn 1. That's very excellent turn 1 by them. And the problem is now, if they max ooze, they get a boost onto the Aleki as well. A special attack boost. Okay, really well done there. I think my play this next turn is actually Max Guard, and it could be Max Guard Trick Room or Max Guard Hypnosis. Oh no, I can't Hypnosis. The Misty Terrain is up. Ah. That was a very good play by them. One in which it's like, oh my goodness, that did so much damage. Okay, how do I get around this? Now you just T-Bolt and Vine Lash. Oh, and their Life Orb. That's so bad. Yeah, I think I Trick Room here, but honestly, that's a game-winning Protect turn 1. I also, yeah, man, the fact they're a Life Orb, it's like we could have just gone Helping Hand Airstream on a Venusaur, but that feels so risky. Maybe it was just to set up Trick Room, though. Like, I could have just gone Follow Me Trick Room, but, like, obviously Aleki could T-Bolt. So, like, they hard read into my play turn 1, basically. They didn't cover for Trick Room at all, and it works out very, very nicely for them. So, kudos. I am going to just Trick Room and Max Guard here. But it's still so tough now, I think. Especially because their Venu is actually faster under Trick Room. Oh, that's interesting they went for Electro Web. I don't think... Oh, I wonder if they're webbing and then... oozing into Togekiss. But Vine Lash into Goth. Okay. Still not that good though, right? Wow, this is actually where like Rillaboom would have made some sense, where I could have brought in Rillaboom to change the terrain and try to put my opponent to sleep. But like Gothitelle is completely useless right now, right? Because like another max ooze from this Venusaur should KO Togekiss. So I really don't like our position. But it's still winnable. I just, like, do I reset Fake Out? I switch Gothitelle out into Glastrier immediately? If I'm my opponent, I'm just oozing Togekiss, Thunderbolting into Gothitelle. Yeah, this isn't good. I'm going to go for a Helping Hand and Airstream, but the Protect on Aleki was just so good on their end, turn 1. And then it's frustrating because if I just went Follow Me Trick Room, we probably would have had a very early advantage. Okay, they Protect Aleki. Best case is they Vine Lash here into the Gothitelle slot, but it should just be Ooze into Togekiss, yeah. And they're actually Life Orb, which is the other bummer, because like so many Venusaurs these days are like Koba. The upside is at least their Dynamax is over. But this is still so hard. And the main downside is setting up that Misty Terrain. If I didn't set up Misty Terrain turn 1, it would be a completely different game. But I think I have to bring out Glastrier. The problem is now they should have Torkoal in the back. And with Trick Room up, I'm in a really... Like, I don't think we can win this, but I'm going to try. Yeah, and they got the Vine Lash off. No, they didn't get Vine Lash off successfully, so that's the upside. Yeah, I don't see how we can win this. This thing's at +2 special attack, so is this thing. We don't have damage on Gothitelle. So, like, Gothitelle is completely useless for us right now because of the Misty Terrain that I had set up. So, I think it's worth setting up Misty Terrain if it ensures the knockout onto Aleki, but I can't stress how good of a Protect that was turn 1. Meaning that... And that's not, like, a super wild Protect either, so I just needed to play around that. I don't really see how we get out of this. Switching out an Icicle Spear? I don't know. Like, with the hope that they T-Bolt into the Gothitelle slot. I just really don't see... Like, my opponent's lead is just too large right now. We might not even KO Venusaur, which is the downside of Icicle Spear. Okay, we do get 3 hits, which is good. But they're going to have Torkoal in the back, and that's the problem. That thing just outspeeds us under Trick Room. But the hope is if Aleki... I mean, you should, if you're from my opponent's perspective, you should always double up onto the Glastrier slot. They are going to T-Bolt. Yep, it's Glastrier. Yeah, and Torkoal should win the game now. If it was just Torkoal, we'd have a chance, but they have a 4th Pokemon as well. That was just a really good turn 1 play. Like, they did read into me maxing Togekiss, and so kudos to them. Because I think if I just follow me turn 1, and I get Trick Room up, and I bring in Glastrier, we just win the game, right? Because then I just helping hand Hailstorm into Venusaur. So it was a very high-risk play on their end, but it pays off really, really heavily for them. So the good thing, you know, in reflecting in this is, hey, we had multiple options, right? Like, Dynamaxing, like, I see a very clear path to victory based off the play that they made on turn 1. Did they not have Torkoal? Because if not, this becomes substantially more interesting. I don't know if Aqua Jet KOs Glastrier here. Two turns of Trick Room left. Okay, I think I'm just going to Surging Strikes here. And Close Combat? Okay. I'm very surprised. They do Aqua Jet. If this doesn't KO, like, we can very easily win. Ah, but it's enough. I wonder if that's a guaranteed roll. Or, sorry, guaranteed knockout. I'm really... Did they not even bring Torkoal into this matchup? Because if so, that's even more frustrating. Because it's like they just so hard lose to Glastrier. But maybe it's actually winnable then. Like, the game's actually not over because of that. But, yeah, I honestly thought there was a good chance we could have survived Aqua Jet. The thing is, now Gothitelle can actually click Hypnosis. So, what is your last Pokemon? Is it really not Torkoal? It'd be wild if it were, like, Porygon. It was Torkoal. Why didn't they just bring Torkoal out first? I'm kind of confused by that. Huh. Okay, then this is actually potentially winnable, I think. We have a Fake Out here, and it's the last turn of Trick Room, meaning I can Hypnosis this thing in subsequent turns. If you close combat Urshifu, you'll get a defense drop. The problem is I'm only relying on Urshifu for damage. Oh, I really don't like Surging Striking this early. We are max speed too. I feel like they're probably adamant, to be honest. But I also feel like I need a Fake Out Torkoal here. I really don't want to close combat. I don't even know if I got in on that. Got that in on time. Okay. Wow. Yeah, this is very winnable because they went for that. I think it comes down to speed tie between the Urshifus. Because my play now is helping hand close combat. And then detect Hypnosis. Oh, okay. Actually, they might still just win because Torkoal can just Eruption into Gothitelle. Wait, so... I want to lose the speed tie here. Oh, this is so close. They might just Surging Strike Gothitelle. Okay, I'm close combating and Hypnosis into Torkoal? That doesn't feel right. But if they close combat my Urshifu first... Ah, we did go first, okay. And it's not enough for a KO. And now they're going to close combat us. Yeah. And now Aqua Jet KOs. I really am curious whether or not... And sorry, it's dropping some frames right now. Okay, hopefully the lag stops. I'm really curious if it was a speed tie there. But I don't... what was the better play? Just helping hand close combat into their Urshifu? That would have gotten the KO. What was I nervous about? Torkoal just going Heat Wave. But with 3 turns of Sun, yeah, I mean, now we lose. You should always just Aqua Jet my Urshifu. This was a really close game, though. But I really think they had this locked up if they just brought Torkoal out first over the Urshifu. I'm very surprised they made that play. But I suspect this might be admin Urshifu because their Aqua Jet KO'd Glastrier, and I'm actually not confident on it KOing from the range that we were at if they weren't admin. So, yeah. I also could have just close combated Urshifu the turn it detected. The detect was really surprising, but if I close combated there, we would have won too. Yeah, I mean, Helping Hand Aqua Jet's not going to KO here, and they just Aqua Jet. Yeah. So in the end, I don't know how fast the Urshifu was. If it was Jolly, we win off them going first. So that's like the one time we wanted to lose a speed tie. I also, yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably just Helping Hand close combat there. Torkoal wakes up and it did have Eruption. Okay. Because the thing is, if we Helping Hand close combat there, then your Eruption KOs Gothitelle, and I take so much damage with Urshifu. And if the Torkoal has Earth Power, they probably still end up winning this game. So what I needed to do was actually close combat the Urshifu the turn it went for Detect. But I didn't want to do that under Trick Room, because if I ended up attacking first and then yeah. It was very surprising for them to go for the Detect, but yeah, it ends up working out. What a really crazy game, though. So let's look for one more. All right, last one here. Ooh, Whimsicott Cobalion, my old friends. Hello. Long time no see. Okay. Double Electric, I don't know. Our Dynamax options here are all kind of mid. Rotom-Heat's a very big issue for us. That's as good of a hard counter as it gets, which they don't love. So assuming they go Whimsicott plus Cobalion, we could go Gothitelle plus Elecki. I need Urshifu to deal with Rotom here. And I think Glastrier in the back. This is a very scary matchup, though, I think. Mainly because they have a lot of good defensive pivots. Like, Rotom-Heat, I actually have very little super effective damage into from all of my sweepers. But I like Gothitelle here just because if they lead Landorus, well, I can Trick Room, and if they lead like something that's weak to Elecki, we can just sweep through it. They're gonna go Whimsicott plus Cobalion? Okay. Cool. I'm down for that. Because I think our turn 1 we can just Fake Out and Max Strike into the Whimsicott, and Cobalion without boosts is pretty sad. I guess the fear here is if they protect Whimsicott. I think so much, like that game 2, so much of it hinged on Elecki protecting turn 1. If Elecki does not protect there, it's a completely different game. Although I guess because they were Life Orb Max Ooze, Togekiss did get 2-shot anyway. Like, if I were to replay that second game, I would just go the full Trick Room route. But what I was nervous about, you could also, like, theoretically just T-Bolt Togekiss 1-shot and then Sleep Powder with Venusaur, which is very scary. This is why Venusaur is just such a good Pokemon still, right? Like, so many options, very difficult to cover for all of them. Okay. So we're going to max Elecki. I expect them to just max Cobalion. So the main thing here is whether or not they expect this burst of damage. Oh, they don't. Okay, they don't max Cobalion. I'm down for that. So we should get a knockout onto the Whimsicott now. Speed drop is also pretty nice. Okay. I don't know if Lightning would have one-shot Whimsicott there. Didn't want to take the risk. We actually get a crit there, but I don't think we needed it. So good start to the game. We needed a Night Tailwind, so I'm happy about that. And they close combat. Okay, I'm guessing they were just beat up close combat turn 1. So that's actually really good too, because I can just Lightning now into the... Oh, Life Orb as well. Okay. Yeah, I can just Lightning to KO Cobalion. Cobalion might protect. I can see Landorus coming out, but then I can go for Trick Room. Trick Room and Max Lightning is a pretty solid play. The only downside about Max Lightning is that it sets up terrain, right? Yeah, they bring out Landorus. So having Glastrier in the back is going to be very handy for us right now. I almost want to target Landorus here with Max Strike. They do have Urshifu in the back, actually. Like, Cobalion protecting here and then Max Quake into Elecki feels like a pretty safe play for my opponent. So I almost want to just Hypnosis the Landorus here and Max Guard. I think I'm down for that. If you KO Gothitelle, it's fine, because then I bring in the Urshifu, and I can Surging Strikes. I just don't want to max lightning right now. Like, Hypnosis is not consistent, but it's like I don't have any better play to go for with Gothitelle. I obviously can't click Fake Out. I'm not going to Trick Room right now when I have Regieleki out on the field. Although, I think max lightning and Trick Room might be an acceptable play. Oh, wow. That is not what I was expecting at all. Okay. I think I'm fine with this. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Okay. Huge. Huge. That's really good for us. I wonder if Helping Hand Max Lightning just KO. Oh, that's Choice Band. It is. No. You got a crit. Okay. And we miss Hypnosis. I think if we hit there, we would have won, but that miss is actually very scary. Like, once again, I still had no better play to make, so I'm pretty content about how the turn played out, but it sucks that we get crit and we miss. Like, I do think my play here is to just Helping Hand and Max Lightning into the Cobalion. Because my Urshifu can handle the Landorus. It's not Choice Band, right? I don't think so. But yeah, Hypnosis can be one of those moves where it's like, you know, now it feels really sad because it's like, oh, they go for the double. Okay. That makes sense because you assume EQ is going to KO anyway. Oh, wow, and that was enough just for a one-shot. Nice. Good job, Regieleki. But that was scary because if they got the double there, we actually probably lose because EQ would just KO us. But a lot would have needed to go wrong for us to miss Hypnosis, them to crit EQ, and for them to get a double protect. Although I'm not sure the crit actually mattered. Maybe just 2-hit KOs got anyway. Okay. 2-on-2 now. But I've got Urshifu with Surging Strikes and we're max speed. They're not Scarf Landorus. Glastrier is obviously a very good Pokemon to have here as well, with Icicle Spear into the Landorus, but it does feel a little bit weird to be bringing out in this way. So, let's see what's coming out. That is going to be Rotom. Oh, okay, perfect. Oh, that's actually, yeah, that's perfect. The only thing here is... Okay, what we're going to do here is Icicle Spear Landorus and Detect. Yeah. Reason being is because EQ, Rock Slide plus Overheat's not going to KO Glastrier, but EQ T-Bolt is going to KO the Urshifu. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Not this. Oh, no. Okay, maybe it's fine. The thing is, Ally Switch, like, it shouldn't work there unless you're expecting the specific play that I made. We only hit twice as well. Jeez, okay. I'm just going to Spear Landorus, Surging Strikes, Rotom. Because if you Ally Switch it, it just gets redirected into Rotom. I actually want to double up here, I think. No, because Rotom might have Protect. Man, yeah, I'm down to just Surging Strikes, Rotom, Icicle Spear Landorus, I think, here. And they go for Ally Switch again. Okay. Well, I guess it's a question of whether or not Surging Strikes KOs Landorus right now. Oh, they were Scarfed. Oh. Okay, it's not even a 2-hit KO on Urshifu, though, so I think we're fine. Let's see. Yeah, that's enough. Okay, good. This is why I needed Urshifu in the endgame, though. I had no answer against Rotom-H otherwise. Which is also why I didn't really want to Dynamax Togekiss. Okay, so very interesting. They were Scarf Landers, and they brought it out specifically with Cobalion, but it makes sense. Like, my Max Guard mitigated that, basically, though. And Icicle Spear again. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like Ally Switch... Well, was there much they could have really done either way? No, Ally Switch was their best play, because if they don't go for the Ally Switch there... Well, you could have overheated into Glastrier, actually. But... Glastrier wasn't the one winning us this endgame anyway, right? So, yeah. Oh, it's just always scary when you're like in an endgame, you think you've got the game won, and then Ally Switch comes out and you're like, oh no. But this game was mainly just us. Fortunately, the Glastrier did not get that double protect, which was a really big deal. With Glastrier not getting the double, we were able to, or sorry, not Glastrier, Cobalion. The other good thing is that they didn't protect in front of the Gothitelle in turn 1, so I got that free knockout onto Whimsicott. They had that special defense drop on the Cobalion, and then we were just able to one-shot Cobalion with the Regieleki. So, you know, today's episode is fun because it highlights all the different max options with this team, and as you can see, it's a very flexible team. All the Pokemon are really, really strong. In Game 2, it was really just my opponent making a really strong turn 1 play. Like, it countered exactly what I did on turn 1, but we certainly had the tools to win, right? If I just went Follow Me with Togekiss and Trick Room on turn 1, I think we actually have we're in a very, very good position from that point on. Because you would have just knocked out the Togekiss with Max Ooze. I bring out Glastrier. Well, actually, Togekiss might have hung on in that position, but still. We get Trick Room up, and then I can Hypnosis as well. So turn 1, it was like the worst case scenario because by setting up the Misty Terrain, it means Gothitelle was completely useless. So definitely learned a lot from that game too, and we still maybe could have won if I close combated, like went Helping Hand close combat into their Urshifu. But I don't know. I think Torkoal probably still wins that end game. It depends on if they have Earth Power or not in the end. Like Eruption would probably KO Gothitelle, do around 40% or more to Urshifu. Then we detect Surging Strikes. So it would have been really close, but I also think in Game 2, they had the Game 1 if they just brought Torkoal first rather than Urshifu. So, yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it for this one. So, thanks so much as always for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Details for the team, once again, are in the description below, and I'll catch you all next time. All right. Peace.